Hola, mi amigos. I hope you're so well wherever you are in this right now. I wanted to share something that um, is not, I'm not sharing this to be up for debate. I'm not sharing this um, because I want to hear what you think. I'm sharing this because I am called to share this. Granted, if you want to share what you have to think and what you have to say and what you have to feel, by all means do. And that's not why I'm sharing this. So, as some of you may have noticed, we're coming up on election time in the United States of America. And this is traditionally a time where humans divide. And they say, I am pro this team and the other team sucks. And that's been our history for the majority of our experience. And I have a deep understanding and awareness that the political system is it's a game of Monopoly. It's a game of pawns and puppeteers. It's a game of thievery and lies and deceit. It's a game. It's a show. It's a lie. It's bullshit, actually. And I feel that most people are becoming more aware of this as they're living their own experience and things are coming into their sphere, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, so these presidents have done really bad things, or these governors, or these Congress people, or these whatever political figures that we have elected to be that are really just to be the faces of a much bigger, deeper system of control and manipulation and oppression. And yet, with so many people waking up to this fact, or yeah, I would consider it a fact of this experience in the hologram, people still get up in arms about who they should be voting for. Okay? Now, I don't even know if I'm going to vote. I mean, I don't even know if I'm going to be in the country at that time. What I've been shown is to not be there. So, I'm just going to keep honoring that message. But whether you vote or not, you do you. I literally don't care. I feel that it doesn't matter if we vote, that they will put a person in an office whether or not they were whether or not the majority actually voted for them or not. Like, it doesn't matter. And what I know, and again, I'm not into politics at all. And I have, for the last 10 years, not been for a side. You know, I used to be like super far left. I mean, I'm talking like, I was like, you know, I was very far left, and I was very loud about it because that was the right way. And if you weren't left, then you hated other people. I didn't understand the far right. Now I see that the far left and the far right are mirror reflections of each other in so many ways, that I choose to go into the neutral space and just watch it ping pong around me. I feel that we are here to make and be the change in the world. I feel that we can no longer rely on a savior outside of ourselves to create a reality that's in harmony with life itself. I feel that the people that we have elected to be in whatever positions of the government have continually proven themselves to be decrepit dishonest, and disgusting. Again, this is not up for debate. This is from my perspective. What I'm also noticing is that there seems to be more killing of humans and life itself. With this, I am also seeing more humans coming together as they realize, oh crap, we're being killed off. The interesting and ironic thing is that the systems have placed people in the positions to do the killing. And not like, let's call it a war where people are like actually on the front lines, like fighting it out, but like using, flyover drone missile things that just out of nowhere, boom, you're gone. Like there's no front line, there's no warriors that are fighting for justice. They are behind tanks and do you hear that? I don't know if you can hear that. They don't come by very often, but when they do, it makes me smile. Anyway, but they're behind tanks, they're behind a curtain, they're the ones pushing buttons, and they're the ones that don't have the guts to get to the glory of the other side of what fighting and standing up for justice would be actually experienced like. And the ones that are paying for all of this, technically, the taxpayers are paying for this. You're paying for this. You're paying for this with your dollars. But we'll not say you, but we'll say the those that are writing the checks to the military industrialized complex. Those ancient crypt keepers of the wealthy and bored that are so incomplete in their own integrity and alignment that they must set up a reality where they have to feel they can control everything so that they feel okay with being alive. And they're doing it to the tune of killing life on Earth. And it's absolutely disgusting. Like, it's like, insert eye roll, this is such bullshit. Like, and what I find really fascinating about this scenario that's being played out is that people get up in arms about the killing of life. But they don't know how to process that anger. They don't know how to use that anger for inspired action. So what they do is they go into the field of blame. And they blame the beings that are the pawns. They blame the pawns in the game. We can see this now all over the place where we'll say two countries are fighting. One team is winning, and we talk about well the losers deserve to lose. Those that are being killed deserve to be killed. And then it's like, but they're humans, like, but they deserve to live. And the people that are doing the killing, like, they're just like, that's all they, like, they're afraid if they stop killing they'll be killed. And so then the story goes around the reality that life is being killed off. And so then people start to focus on the stories about what's happening as opposed to the what's happening. And what's happening is that brothers and sisters are killing each other. And when you keep going up the levels of like, you got people on the streets that are killing each other. You got people that are on the streets that are being killed by like bombs and stuff. Who's pushing those buttons for the bombs, right? And then who's telling those people to push those buttons for those bombs? Those are the people. And when we look at those people, it's not that many, and they're old, decrepit turd burglars that are literally too vile and too weak to fight their own battles by coming to these other beings and saying, you know what? It's really that I want your land. That's what it is. I want your land, and I know that you're not going to give it to me. So my story is that I have to kill all the people to get your land. Can we talk about that? And then having other people be like, yo, bro, so our land, we don't want to give it to you. Like, we're trying to do our best, but nobody's talking about, like, how can we just use the land together and forget that and stop forgetting that it's not something to own. It's something to steward. It's a planet. It's a realm of existence. It's the home that we call home, Like, at what point do the leaders in the world stop and stop trying to control through oppression, invasion, and killing, and start coming together and say, hey, this is what I want, or this is what I need. But I guess, that goes into lack mentality. If people still think that there's not enough and they got to hurry and hoard and have all of it, then they're not going to be able to say, you know what, we have enough. Can we just work together, right? If we're not living in a control consciousness where we feel unsafe and we have to control everything so that everything can be just okay for us, when we're not living in control, we live more easefully and we live in more peace because life wants to live. When we're allowed to live in harmony, we do that. Now, back to the politicals. Everything has two sides, okay? Everything has two sides. Actually, everything has more than two sides, but we live in the polarized reality, so everything has two sides. So in that everything has two sides, we have humans that are entering the United States across borders, and we have, first of all, just a side note to that, we literally have two branches of government in the States that are like, we're gonna be right. No, we're gonna do this. No, if you don't do this, I'm gonna punish you. No, fuck you. We're doing this because it says we can. Oh yeah, well, we're doing this because it says we can. We've got two powers of government. We got the state and the federal, okay? That are saying, we're being invaded. Let's put up a wall, shall we? And then the other side is saying, no, we're not being invaded, but we're not going to talk about why so many military-aged men, and some of them are actually known terrorists, legit, and are actually in the militaries of their homeland, like showing pictures on their phone, like, look, see, I told you, I'm part of this country's military. This is my AK or whatever the automatic weapon is. But anyway, so the federal's like, no, you can come on over, and not only can you come over, but let's see how much of the people we can piss off by letting you over. So we're gonna let you come into the States, okay? And maybe, you know what, maybe you're a part of a militia, maybe you're here to be a terrorist, maybe you're here to literally seek asylum because your land is not safe for you. You could be here for any reason. We don't care, but what it's going to do is we're going to piss off our own brothers and sisters, because what we're going to do, says the federal government, they say, what we're going to do is we're going to help you live here. Now, the way we're going to help you live here is we're going to give you food and shelter and money every month on a credit card. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to give it to you, and the people that have been here, that were born and raised here, that maybe have been like struggling through poverty or addictions or just, I don't know, life itself, that are literally living in tents and on the streets and in shelters and shit, and they don't really have food and water that well, we're going to kick them out of the places and we're going to give it to you. Oh, and here, you want to fly and you don't have actual proper ID? That's okay. We're going to give you an identification, so when you fly our Delta Airlines or whatever US Airlines, you don't have to show identification. But if you're born here, you got to go through hours of like paperwork to make sure you got your passport, your driver's license. You got to go through TSA. You got to walk through the thing where they scan your face and they scan your body on the x-ray. Like, we're going to put you through shit. In fact, you know what? You're going to beep once because you got some like belt on or some like earring in your ear. We're going to tap you and pat you down so much that you're going to feel violated. How about that? But nah, man, like if you're here and you don't have any proof of why you're here, no record of why you're here, we don't even need your name. You just come on in and we're just going to start paying you. And because everything has a side, another side, some of these people are going to be used for trafficking. That's fucked up. And then you've got back to the state that says, we just got to stop this flow of homies, yo. Like, let people come in, but let them come in as legally as possible. Por favor. So I share this because everything is happening. Now, another thing, none of this is even happening. How about that? You know, I work in the quantum, right? Quantum shaman here. None of this is even real. It's a holographic game that the collective consciousness is creating. How fucked up is that? The power of social media is great. Two sides of that here. We got the one side that social media literally is continuing to feed media, Netflix, movies. It's continuing to feed through some pre-programmed movie, whatever, a thing that we watch, a show, and then it comes into our subconscious, and then look at that, we just created it. And on the other hand of that is social media has become a platform for actual real-time, real news. And so we have people that are saying, you know, well, we need to take social media away because it's dangerous. It's creating mental issues. Yeah, no shit. It's creating the mental issue called life right now because people aren't imaginative and they're not in their heart. They haven't quite woken up to that yet. But it's okay. It's happening. Tons of people are fucking waking up. It's dope. I'm excited. My point. So some are trying to get social media platforms to be edited and removed. Well, then who are we going to get our news from? If we can't even share what's happening. 1984, what? Orwell said who? Yeah. And I share all this because as we go into the timeline where there's going to be so many commercials and ads and just propaganda all over the place about like how much of a crypt keeper Biden is, and you know, Kamala what's his nuts, and like Obama and his husband, and like all this other stuff. Like, as more people become aware of this shit, true or not, people are gonna be grasping for straws. They'll be grasping for straws in such a big way on why they need to vote for this person. You know, and I can say right now that, you know, I don't want to vote for anyone that has dementia and that's been shown to be really inappropriate with children, like disgustingly inappropriate. Like, I don't want to. You know, do I want to vote for someone that is seemingly an asshole? Not really. What I would want to vote for is peace. Okay? What I would want to vote for, right, to choose, I would rather choose peace. Now, if I have however many ballot boxes that's like, you know, Biden, Trump, and I don't even know if there's anyone else in this game to be voted in. Who's creating more peace? Who has historically created more peace? I don't know. And you know, I remember being like, for me right now, if it's just like if someone says, Jane, you gotta have some ice cream right now, and you got vanilla and you got strawberry, and I'm like, but I really want chocolate. And they're like, this literally, it's all we got, right? I have a choice. I can either be like, you know what, I really don't like vanilla, totally gonna go for the strawberry, I guess. Or I can be like, I'll wait. I'll make my own chocolate, actually. I'll make my own chocolate ice cream right now. And I say that because, when you look at the two flavors that are in front of you, are you choosing out of habit? Are you choosing out of righteousness of a label that you have chosen to take on because you've chosen to be Republican or you've chosen to be Democrat this whole time? Or are you choosing based on, when was your life easier? Has your life been more easy in the past Biden timeline? I don't know about you, but, whether it was just happenstance and coincidental that Biden got into office at the same time that, Fauci all of a sudden became like Dr. Know-It-All. What? And, we had COVIDicus season happen where people be shooting their bodies with graphene and DNA altering components. All of a sudden now we got kiddos like dying on a field of cardiac arrest. We got people with blood clots that look like fucking tapeworms coming out of their bodies. I haven't seen as many lines sprayed in the sky as I have in the past few years. It was happening before that though, trust. It wasn't just these past few years. I've never talked to more people that have been struggling for money, for resources, for jobs. And I also know that all of this brings people together. So I know that there's a deep trust and faith that everything is happening for a reason. It's to bring us together back in harmony with the earth and with each other and with love. That's my belief. Again, not up for debate. That's my belief. And this is not me saying that anyone ought to vote or ought to vote one certain way or another. My request and encouragement is to ask yourself, how has your life been improved? And has it improved because you have been less social? Or you've been on social media more? Has it improved because you started drinking more alcohol, doing substances? Or has it improved because you feel more freedom, you live a freer life, you're actually living in a life with more abundance and prosperity? Ask yourself these questions and then ask yourself what has supported that in your life. So for me, I feel more abundant and supported and held in so many ways than I have ever felt. For me, I've changed my living environment, I've changed my diet, I've changed my everything in my life, actually. And so what I've learned is that community is really important. Access to clean water and air and plant medicines are key. Having the ability to rest and to have a calm, regulated nervous system, have time and space to be in my creative energy, have time for play, pleasure, and give myself space to be very focused and work, have a spiritual practice that is non-negotiable, that is key, and it comes before anything else. So if those are the things that have made my life better, on top of, reconciling relationships that had been broken, releasing relationships that were very toxic and unhealthy, forgiving myself for being toxic in some relationships, you know? So when I look at all of that, and if I said, okay, I would want a leader that would support that, these really good things in my life, who would that be? Do we even have a choice? And yeah, I share this because we're coming into the timeline where it's like, oh God, we're going to start hearing so much more about who should vote for who. And because oh, what's his nuts, Crypt Keeper, his stats are going down. Ain't nobody really supporting him. If you are, like, no judgment, but like you're actually in the minority, and that's totally fine. Like, sometimes the underdog wins, like, cool. I literally, like, whatever, it's all a hologram. But it's the cognitive dissonance around the Crypt Keeper is cracking me up, first of all, from people. But that's just totally beside the point. And again, I'm not necessarily a Trump fan. Trust. Again, I'm the chocolate ice cream girl. I haven't seen that on the ballot yet, okay? But the amount of, like, straws that are going to be grasped by the current administration so that they could possibly be elected for the first time, or whatever, the second time, re-elected. I guess you got to get elected first legally to be re-elected, so I guess he's just wanting to be, anyway. So much data is coming out. I can't wait for this to all, like, actually become into the, like, conscious awareness. But this is what this year is for. Like, literally, apocalypse, veil is lifting. That's what it means. It's literally like opening up to the awareness of the truth behind the truth of the reality that's being experienced behind the holographic experience. Anyway, my point, and then I'm gonna hop off. But the grasping of straws that are going to happen, like, or anything is possible. I'm talking like Project Bluebeam. We have aliens. No, we have aliens. We cannot have an election. Or, sorry, martial law. Haha. We have too big of a war happening now. We don't have an election. Guess who gets to stay the president? Like, it is time to come together, folks. It is time to raise up and to unite and to become self-sufficient and to become communal, to be able, like, to know your neighbors, to be able to grow your own stuff, to be able to figure out how to clean water so you can drink. You know, like, basic human stuff, y'all. And because we're still going to live in the holographic reality that is, you know, going to have digital aspects and AI and these things, like, we can still be abundant. We can still have tons of money. We can still live so prosperously. We just don't have to rely on a corrupt system to experience it. We can actually have a really dope, abundant life that is philanthropic or devoted or in ahimsa, that's kind to life. We can do that. That is a very, very viable option. So, whatever you do, whatever you don't do, remember that it's all up to you. You matter, your voice matters, the way you show up in the world matters, the way you add your light and your sparkle and your brilliance to the world legit matters, the way you love matters, the way you become love matters. Like, the way you fight and argue and prove your rightness and prove someone's wrongness, that doesn't matter. It actually makes matter. It makes a life manifest that ain't nobody want to live in, because then it's like, oh shit, we just live in this judgmental realm of energy. And well, so my invitation and deep, deep request is to, like, live in as much love, unify, come together, you know, claim your birthrights, If you would like guidance on how to claim your birthright, break out of the matrix, clear your quantum field, your epigenetics, your neural programming, your physiological system, a vessel that's divinity right here and now, and you'd like some support or whatever, send me a DM. I am happy to help. But we are here to rise above, literally ascend beyond this matrix and paradigm that we have been imprisoned in through oppression, control, and propaganda. Lies, all lies, I tell ya. So we're ready to just continue to break through that collectively and rise up. We're here to bloom, y'all. We're here to bloom. So I'm sending you so much love. Take care of yourself and each other, and I will see you on another now. Okay, bye.